Porsche curves are very fast. They're somewhat narrow, but the main thing is that the corners are very fast and they are like very much single file. So that means it's always tough to go side by side, even though you would have a faster car. And of course, the GT car ahead, which drives competitively in their own class, they don't have to give room or let an hypercar go by. They can use their normal driving line. So that means if they just use their normal driving line, the optimal way to drive the Porsche curves is of course using all the available track space. So you go basically from left to right, right to left as much as possible, but still staying within the limits. So if you don't have any extra momentum, you really can't pass too easily at the Porsche curves. Even though the LMH third GR10s are much faster than the GT3 cars in the well, GTE cars. Let's put it like that. Yeah, so even though the GR10 is much faster in those corners, yeah, for the facts I just mentioned, it's yeah they just can't get past there very easily. So yeah, so I'm still close to 4 seconds. Now just over 4 seconds, the gap between Deus and Team Q, P1 and P2 in LMH. Then the gap has increased, perhaps not surprisingly, between Team Q in second, DLR Este in third, in overall and LMH. So yeah, the gap is now between P2 and P3 overall is over 1.5 minutes. The gap keeps increasing. So yeah, they're still running solidly because let's see well they maybe done a better job with their hybrid and/or traffic because the gap has increased between DLR der Öste 13 LMH and TTV Bevo 57, the American driver. So the gap is now 44 seconds, and then they have 44 seconds behind Safra, who's 15 class, but the gap has stayed the same between P4 and P5 in LMH. Yeah, for the moment the Lamborghini driver William F1 fan is doing very good laps. He's pulling away from Drift King RC second in the GT class. The gap is now over 6 seconds. But looking at the fuel and tires, they definitely have to pit earlier. And there's a possibility that they even, well, we'll see how it pans out over the whole race. But it could be, well, I don't know about the pit stop times. I don't have that data, but it could be actually that the McLaren driver for GTEC, who's second in GT class, they might be fuel saving just a tiny bit. That or they just put more fuel after the pits. But either way, they're losing slight time more and more. But again, if those two cars have a big fuel consumption difference, then it's gonna perhaps gonna affect how the GT class plays out, towards the end of the stint. So yeah, for the moment, P6 and P7 in GT class, the gap is 6.6 seconds. At lap 19 is where the GT cars are at. Then Mighty Duck in 8, they also start to catch up to Drift King RC and the McLaren. They have much fresher tires, so that's a factor, and also slightly less fuel. So we'll see if we have some battling between the two McLaren drivers soon. perhaps in the next few laps is this keeps up. If the lap times stay consistent for the both of the drivers, then Schaefer is slightly losing time to the McLaren driver Mighty Duck ahead, who's third in class, but they're still solidly in fourth, the BMW driver in their class. Then they have 32 seconds behind to RPFT Kickmack in the Mercedes. Gap looks to be fairly slowly increasing to the favor of the BMW driver. Yeah, the Mercedes driver RPFT Kickmack is fifth in class. Schroeder apparently has a half-second penalty to serve, but they're 13 seconds behind the driver ahead. Yes, but overall not too many changes in GT class other than the fact that the leading GT car seemed to increase the gap, but now it looks like they lost a bit of time. Wonder if there was some action between a hypercar and the Lamborghini driver. Could be that they had to back off or something, or then they just made a small mistake. But yeah, but Mighty Duck is really catching up to Drift King RC McLaren driver now. The gap is slowly getting to a smaller one. It's now 1.3 seconds, so they have a good first sector. On lap 20 they might get to the slipstream range of Drift King RC, who is still second in GT class at the moment. Yeah, so sorry for any inconveniences because the thing is that I'm hosting the this lobby, so sadly I can't decide to start a stream, and then there's a risk that the lobby might well mess itself up, so I'm not taking that risk. So try to report as much as I can and of what's going around, even though you can't see everything what's going around, but I'll do my best here. The LMH gap looks to be somewhat consistent. It's around 4 seconds for the fight for the lead between Deus and Team Q26. So yeah, between 3 and 4 seconds is what has been circulating at the past few laps. The gap, but yeah, let's remember the leading LMH driver. Yeah, they have less fuel in their car, so yeah, it might become a factor later on. So yeah, sorry for the situation, but yeah, in my positions when I'm just hosting and in the same voice chat, I don't run the stream itself, which you see running. So Sadly, I can't change between what's going on. I'm sorry about that. Looks like there's now a fight for P3 and P4 between P3 and P4 in GT class. Looks like Mighty Duck, yeah, they just got through in the McLaren. They have tires that are in better shape and also less fuel than the other McLaren driver. So yeah, Mighty Duck is up to P3 in GT class. Sorry, P2. Yeah. Drift King RC has now fallen to P3 in GT class. Yes, Drift King RC just hasn't, of course, given up yet. They're, well, now they're 7 tenths behind Mighty Duck, second in GT class. So they'll get the slipstream for the Mulsanne, and we'll have to see if they go for a move or not in one of the chicanes. Yeah, currently the Lamborghini driver William F1 fan is running away with it in GT class. The gap is 5.7 seconds. It will say how it pans out from here. If Mighty Duck can have more pace and catch up behind them or not, that remains to be seen. Yes. So back to the LMH class. So now the gap is coming down. It could be, well, we're about to see. Maybe lack traffic has affected it, or it's something else. Maybe it's just driving. But in any case, the gap is now only 1.4 seconds behind between Deus Deus and Team Q. So yeah, this could get interesting. Slipstream range is not there, but as I mentioned earlier in the stream, in my commentary, and Team Q has a setup. Yeah, they have set up their car in a way that they have more straight line speed, so they'll get closer to Deus Deus on the straights, but then they have more struggles in the corners because of the lack of downforce. Looks like they had a bit of a moment there, and they definitely lost around, well, closer, well, around 1.5 seconds what they lost. So yeah, for now the gap is close to 3 seconds again between Deus Deus and Team Q. And back to the GT class then. Drift King RC is still, hanging on in the slipstream range of the fellow McLaren driver. But yeah, they're struggling to stay in the range now. So yeah, now they're 1.2 seconds behind third in the GT class. And William F1 fan, yeah, looks like actually Mighty Duck in the McLaren, who is second in GT class, is catching up to the Lamborghini driver ahead of them. They have taken better care of their tires, is what it seems like to me. They have fresher tires, so they're able to push harder for fast lap times now. The gap is 3.3 seconds between 6th and 7th, so they caught up around 2 seconds the last few laps, so could have some more fighting for the class lead in GT. Yeah, Drift King RC is struggling. Their tires are getting worn out, and also that their car is rear-wheel drive. It doesn't help that they have plenty of rear tire wear as well, so it makes the car prone to oversteer easier. And they also have now a half-second penalty to serve, so yeah, looks like they're at the moment losing sight of Mighty Duck second in GT class, because the gap is now 4.7 seconds, and it's only gonna increase a little bit. So this could be an opportunity for GTF Schaefer, who's 14 GT class, 4 seconds behind the GTEC McLaren, because yeah, they're gonna catch up after the around 1 second after the GTEC McLaren serves their penalty. So yeah, the gap could get down to perhaps 3 seconds after GTEC McLaren serves their penalty. Yes, for now we won't have too much action going on in GT class. There are some gaps, so there isn't any fighting going on, but the gaps are changing a little bit. But yeah, now nothing too major going on. GT cars probably do a few more laps before they need to pit. But as for LMH, gap is still less than 3 seconds behind between P1 and P2 in LMH class. And DLR Dereste is again losing a little bit of time to the top two in LMH class. It's close to 2 minutes now, the gap from second to third. Then TTV Bevo is over a minute from DLL Dereste, who is third in LMH class. Then P4 and P5 looks like Masafra 15 in the LMH class has done a very good job with their hybrid. So this is probably the big reason why they have started to catch up the P4 driver in LMH class. I think the gap was at some point 44 seconds for quite a while, but now when the hybrid situation has changed in favor of Masafra in fifth, looks like they're slowly catching up to the back of P4. So we'll see how it plays out towards the end of the stint. Perhaps Masafra is overall they could be a little bit slower, but as said, the situation changes probably now with the hybrid. So all things considered, looks like they're catching up. So yes, some GTs are coming in. The GTC McLaren, I'm not surprised they had plenty of fuel, but their tires, well, were quite worn down. And then also RPFT kickback in the Mercedes is coming into the pits. Okay, so yeah, looks like Mighty Duck has got past William F1 fan. I wonder what happened. Looking at the tires, it could be that William F1 fan Lamborghini has made some kind of error because they have a lot of tire wear. Their rear tires are coming to the end of their shelf life, and yeah, the Lamborghini is traditionally a little bit heavy on its tires, so they're starting to struggle now. So Mighty Duck has done a very good job. They're on a fairly solid stint, and yeah, they have taken good care of their tires. They're in great shape, so they will be very quick now. Now at this point in time. Yeah, so we're not now at that phase that we might see some more GT car speed in the next few laps. The LMH cars, well, for them it looks like they'll probably run at least 5 or 6 more laps. Yes, the gap between Mighty Duck and William F1 fan, the two leading GT cars, the gap is still increasing slightly. So Mighty Duck in the McLaren leads by over 8 seconds now. And they also can do a longer stint in terms of fuel, so William F1 fan is coming to the pits now from P7 and second in GT class. They'll probably change tires and put a lot of fuel in the car. But yes, Mighty Duck in the McLaren still stays out, taking good care of their tires, and also they have enough fuel to do a few more laps. So yeah, they're definitely in a good position now to take actually the MGT class stint victory here. So the Mage class looks like the gaps are very similar to what they were a few laps ago. So not much is going on. Safra is slightly catching up the P4 driver. They have still half of their hybrid left, so this rate they might have enough hybrid for the rest of the race, so that could be a good opportunity for them then. Them to perhaps get P4 for this stint in the LMH class. So yeah, Mighty Duck leads now by 11 seconds, but it's due to BMW who was a bit further behind. So it looks like both of these drivers are running long and looking at their fuel. The BMW driver has quite a bit more fuel, perhaps around 10 liters more than the Lamborghini, who leads the GT class. So we'll see how this all plays out. That's roughly 5 seconds in the pits, so So yeah, the net lead is still for the McLaren. Mighty Duck is their driver name. Sorry, I'm their gamer tag, but yeah, they're in a good position now to win the GT class for this stint. Yeah, so looks like the HPSR driver is in the O3. The moment they're let's see, that's 15 class, but they're do a pit stop in a little while. Also, half-second penalty they serve after Indianapolis. Same for the Lamborghini William F1 fan. He has a half-second penalty, but he's on fresh tires now, so we'll see what happens. Yeah, penalties galore. There are a lot of half-second penalties here, the GT class. But I said that at Circuit de la Sarthe, it's very easy to get track limit penalties, especially the half-second ones. Go slightly over the white lines, and you get a slight slap on the wrist and a half-second penalty. So yeah, Safra is still catching up TTV Bevo, who has run out of hybrid many laps ago, while Safra has around 50% left. So they're in a good position actually now to perhaps challenge for a P4 in LMH. Okay, so LMH class looks like Deus has been, let's see, they have been passed by Team Q. So there's now a 0.8 second gap between P1 and P2 in the hypercar or LMH class, how you wish. So yeah, I don't know if it's traffic or, well, it's definitely probably slightly to do with the tires. Deus has much more tire, has slightly more tire wear than Team Q, and also let's remember that Team Q has better straight line speed than Deus, so they reckon they probably did a fairly easy pass at Mulsanne given they got to the slipstream range. That's the advantage of the setup of having lower aero. And interestingly enough, they have taken better care of their tires. Traditionally, you'd think if you have more aerodynamics, you wear your tires down less. At least that's how it works in real, let's say, real life motorsports. Probably to do with the setup and the driver. The differences in tire wears in this case. Deus might come in, he might do one or two more laps. He decides to stay out. Needs to be careful because So yes, between P2 and P3 in an LMH, gap is 1 minute 49 seconds, and well, almost the identical gap is between P3 and P4. That's 1 minute 48 LMH class and also overall. So yeah, pretty big gaps there in the LMH class, except for P1 and P2, and Musafra is still trying to catch up TTV votes, circulating in the in some similar seconds the gap between P4 and P5 in LMH class. The moment it's over 19 seconds. But as I said, Musafra has taken good care of their hybrid, so they'll have a chance to catch up, but it remains to be seen. Okay, William F1 fan in the Lamborghini must have peaked rear damage. That's unfortunate. They have to pit again now. They'll struggle if they want to make it to the end. Perhaps not.
Oh, God!
Right, so looks like... let's see. Yes, so I think... Yeah, Drift King RC had some troubles and had to come fix damage, and now P9 and P10, well, they have a fight now. GTEC should be the faster driver of the two. Over the whole race, Schroeder in the GT Porsches be slightly slower. But yeah, we'll see what happens from now on. Okay, yeah, the GTC driver in the McLaren is definitely the faster of the two. We have a fight P9 and P10 now. But is Drift King RC in the McLaren gonna wait or not? No, they go for the move to the first small sand chicane. And yeah, they make a nice solid overtake. Now the Porsche behind them in P10 also has slipstream, so we'll see if they make an overtaking maneuver or not. They could if they wanted to, but we'll see. This is the beauty of the Mulsanne straight, it's very long, so slipstream is a factor and they'll decide to back off. And also Drift King RC and the McLaren went slightly defensive there to keep their ninth position overall, and in GT class they are right now in P4. Yes, the P9 P10 fight keeps moving on, but Schroeder in the Porsche sadly picked up a half-second penalty, so they'll probably drop back a little bit and the fight ends for now. Ooh, they have a big slide, and that's a half spin. No damage though, but that's a shame. They definitely lost a few seconds there. More than a few. Looks like they lost around 7 seconds. And now they still have to serve their penalty. But it could be worse also. Okay, now RPFT kickback is very close. And they probably, yeah, they get past now. Yes. They get past now for a P10 because Schroeder had a half spin moment and then they also had to serve their penalty here. So yes, now Schroeder tries to get back to it against RPFD driver there. They, yeah, Schroeder tries to get back their P10 overall, but sadly they're picked up a half-second penalty. That could be another at Tetra Rouge. Let's see. Yeah, it's a shame. That's a 1 second worth of penalties now. So they'll probably drop back from the slipstream range of the driver ahead. So yes, now looking at the LMH class, looks like there's an 18-second gap between Team Q and Delta Del. So no big changes, and yeah, at this rate, uh, Team Q 26 looks like the strong favorite to take this Stint victory for LMH. The dealer there stays a clear third in LMH. Vivo quite a yeah, they have quite a big gap to P3 in class, and yeah, looks like they might at this moment keep Safra at bay for the fight of P4 in this stint. Maybe Safra had a mistake or big struggles in traffic, not sure which, but yeah, they're not 29 seconds behind, even though they have hybrid. It's gonna be tough to catch up at this rate. Okay. Yes, So there we have pit stop in GT class. Schroeder in his Porsche. Okay, interesting. They had tire life left. They had 36% of fuel left still. So I wonder why they did decide to pit in. Could have run longer, but yeah, it could be that they did the math now that they make a pit stop now. Then they can make it to the end. It's a possibility. So yes, William F1 fan is third in GT class, and yeah, gaps between the GT cars are following. So Mighty Duck leads by 13.7 seconds to GTF Schaefer in the BMW. Then William F1 fan is third in the Lamborghini. They have a 21-second gap to Schaefer, second in GT. And then Drift King RC in the McLaren is, well, they're almost 20 seconds behind P3 in the GT class. But Drift King RC is looking pretty good on fuel, so they definitely, if they have to pit again, which they might, they'll definitely need to put way less fuel than William F1 fan, who's currently 8th overall and third in GT class. So Drift King RC might gain at least one, perhaps have a chance to gain a place in the GT class. William F1 fan is serving a half-second penalty now. That'll probably cost them around 1 second, but nothing too major. And the same goes for Drift King RC, who's 20 seconds behind them. So they'll serve their penalty now. So yeah, we'll see how this all plays out, because I look at the GT cars. There's William F1 fan and RPFT Kickback who have way less fuel than the rest of the GT cars. But I'm not convinced yet that the other GT cars uh, can make it to the end either. But even so, uh, I mean, yeah, refuel intake is 2 liters per second here. So we look at the fuels, for instance, Drifting RC, who's 9th overall, they are 21 seconds behind William F1 fan, but they have 74% of fuel, roughly around that. And William F1 fan has 28. So I mean, yeah, that's the interesting part. That's maybe let's say that's 33. So like that's like around 45-liter difference. So that's quite massive because yeah, 2 liters per second. So you can do the math from there. That's around 22 and a half seconds to do the fueling. So as said, Drift King RC is still in the fight for P3 in this stint in the GT class. Let's see. Yeah, so RPFT Kickback, they have to put more fuel in than Drift King RC, who's ahead of them. So they'll probably struggle to catch up to the GT driver. Okay, looking at the LMH cars, back to it. Could be traffic or it could be driving, but in any case, gap has now reduced itself to 15, roughly around 15 seconds between Team Q 26, who's still leading the LMH class, and Deus is in second. But it's still over 15 seconds, so yeah. Unless anything drastic happens, looks like Team Q is taking the LMH stint win here. And yeah, it's not much else. Second and third, between second and third in LMH and third and fourth, the gaps are, we're talking about less than 2 minutes or more than 2, so not much is going to happen there. To be honest, Azafra is again catching up in P5 overall. The driver ahead. They still have some hybrid left, but at this rate, looks like they're not quite catching up despite their good effort there. Yeah, back to GT. So at the moment, we don't have really any fights going on. Try to make sense of the fuel loads and whatnot. So there's definitely a fight for P4 in GT class here, because Drift King RC is they have to put way less fuel. I'm not. Yeah, it's a little bit tough to do the maths here based on the screen, but I'm not sure which GT driver still need to pit. And well, I mean, definitely William F1 fan, who's third in GT class, and RPFT Kickmack, who is fifth in GT class. They have to come to the pits. But the other GT cars, I'm not so sure actually. It's gonna be close if they can make it to the end. It may be that they need to maybe do a quick splash and dash, but perhaps they make it to the end. It's very much up in the air, so to speak. But anyways, looks like um, P1 and P2 are perhaps somewhat secure in GT class. There's a 14-second gap between them, and well, okay, GTF Schaefer has more fuel left, so we'll see. Pans out. If both have the pit or one of the two, or how it's gonna play out, I'm not so sure yet. Yeah, the gap is slightly decreasing at the front. Deus catching up Team Q, but at this rate they won't catch up towards the end of the stint. So and yeah, seeing the O3 still last in overall. Taser 70 seconds ahead of them, and then Shodder's 1 minute ahead of Taser, and then it's 55 seconds to RPFT Kickback. But as said, yeah, RPFT Kickback definitely has to pit, and same goes for William F1 fan. So we'll see how it plays out. And if they have to do an extra pit stop, perhaps they'll be very quick towards the end on a light fuel load. So we'll see how this all plays out. At the moment, yes, RPFT Kickback is catching up Drift King RC, who's they are fourth in GT class, so this is a fight for P4 in GT class. P9 overall. They have less fuel, so they have a lighter car, which is why, at least partly why they are able to catch up. But even so, their pace is looking strong now. They're doing personal best so far on this lap, so they are looking very strong. Yeah. RPFT Kickmack continues to catch up Drifting RC. Gap is now just over 5 seconds. It's impressive driving, and also they have a lot way less fuel, around like, let's say, just over 20%. So yeah, they have to pit fairly soon, perhaps in DM next, between 4 and 6 laps. So yeah, they have to come to the pits once more at least. Once more at least. Let's see. So William F1 fan has the same situation. They're pulling gaps behind all the time. They're very quick on track. They are actually the fastest GT car. So despite they have to do another pit stop, their pace is very good. So they have a fighting chance to finish third in this stint for the MGT class. Yeah, for the moment, the GT class battles aren't really raging on. MH, the gap is again at the top. It's a bit less than 15 seconds. So yeah, there's very slightly catching up, but it's quite marginal. So yes, Drifting RC is running solid still, is close to 6 seconds behind, and they might make it to the end. It's gonna be close. Not too much is going on. Apparently the LMH car battle for the win of the stint. There's now a 18-second gap, so Deus lost additional few seconds now. It's gonna get interesting also, this strategy battle between P8 and P9 overall. And that's for P3 in the GT class, because yes, William F1 fan has to pit in at least once more, but at the same time they have fresh tires and very little fuel in the car. I mean, they have fresher tires at least, and their pace has been also pretty impressive now. So we'll see how it plays out in that battle. Pit stops do take, however, quite a long time here. I reckon around 50 seconds to 1 minute. So they need to be really quick to catch up. But at the same time, they don't need to put as much fuel as earlier in the race. So yeah, I reckon they maybe drop. I predict perhaps around 15 seconds behind when they pit in after a few laps. So yeah, we'll see how quick they are once they exit the pits. But they're definitely still in with a shot for P3 in GT class. Yes, this stint has definitely been very predictable in terms of whether or not much has happened. It's been dry full out, so nothing dramatic in that sense. That's for sure. Yeah, let's see. So 11.4 seconds between William F1 fan and GTF Schaefer P7 P8. Yeah, Lamborghini driver is doing very well in terms of pace. Risking RC is slowly losing to the driver ahead in GT class, but yeah, they have much more fuel, so they're on a different strategy. So we'll see how it plays out in the end. Schroeder pits in again. It's down P11 overall. They have front damage. That's a shame. And decide to get it fixed. So yeah, sadly that's close to a minute gone. But yeah, it happens. Yeah, Safra is again starting to catch up. The driver in fourth overall, but yeah, now looks like they're running out of hybrid themselves. So yeah, it won't be so easy to catch up now. The MP4 fight. So it's 21.2 seconds there in the LMH fight for P4 and P5. And then as for the GT cars again, yeah, not too much is going on at the top. Top there, gap is fairly solid maybe. Yeah, I don't know. Looks roughly the same to be around 11 seconds. Let's see fuel between the top two in GT class. Well, we have to see. Mighty Dakuli's GT classes. It's gonna be very close if they can make it on fuel to the end or not. Very close, but GTF Schaefer's doing a good job, so yeah. Tough to say just yet um, how it's gonna turn out at the end of the stint for the GT class, so yeah. Other than the fact that looks like either Mighty Duck or GTF Schaefer is gonna take the stint win for the GT class. One of those two. Yeah, William F1 fan is gonna have to pit now. They only have 7% left of fuel. So they'll be very quick towards the end with little fuel and fresh tires. I reckon they also switch tires now. Yeah, Geekmack is slightly catching up, Drift King RC down in P10 overall. But they also have to come into the pits perhaps now. William F1 fan to the pits. As expected, they changed tires with enough fuel to make it to the end. Let's see. Geekmack P10 overall pits in again. As expected, the drivers on an alternative strategy coming to the pits. They'll be quick towards the end, but we'll see if they lose the fight here or not for their position. So okay, William F1 fan has 62% of fuel, but they're 23 seconds behind Drift King RC. So unless Drift King RC has to pit again, they might actually take third in GT class. Even, well, I mean, it depends. It all depends on the pace, but I'm not sure William F1 fan is that much faster actually. And with GTs, you don't have the same type of traffic you have to deal with, of course. As in LMH, you just gotta hope as a GT driver that the LMH drivers are sensible and don't punt you off. So yes, let's see. RPFT Kickmack also did. That's gonna be their last pit stop. Okay, now I get some idea of the fuel. So if they put roughly around 50%, then that's gonna last the next around half an hour or so. So let's see. So William F1, well, okay, it depends on drivers and how you the car and stuff, but like probably RPFT Kickmack and William F1 fan would have put enough fuel. So yeah, looks like yeah, Drift King RC is probably gonna make it to the end with their fuel. GTF Schaefer, it depends how well they can manage until the end of fuel. If the BMW is, they have had the best fuel management so far in P7 in the GT class, so they might make it to the end even though they have less than some of their competitors. But Mighty Duck looks like they definitely have to come into the pits again to refuel. So yeah, they only have 28% left, so they have to come to the pits once more. And LMA is nothing new on the west front, so to speak. See P12 and P13. Not too many big changes from what I can see. Yeah, Schroeder has had a couple of pit stops to fix damage, so they're still in P11 overall. Taser's almost 38 seconds behind them. And then Syndio 3 is 9.5 behind Taser X19. And they have good pace now, so actually if they can keep up this good pace, they're doing low 4-minute laps, then they have a chance to get to P12 overall and 17 GT class for this stint. To see the LMH strategy real quick. So yeah, Deus is gonna struggle with their tires towards the end. There's still almost 25 minutes they need to do on those tires. Fuel wise, they have done a good job, so they don't have to worry about their fuel, but the tires are a little bit worn already. Okay, Dealer Reste has damage, front damage now in P3. They're way behind P2, so it's not about that, but they're in a tough spot because you really don't want to make an extra pit stop. But at the same time, if you don't, you're gonna lose a bit of time. So it's yeah, it depends how much you lose versus if it's worth the pit for fixing the damage or not. But yeah, in GT class looks like the fight for class victor is gonna intensify. Mighty Duck definitely has to pit. The question is, does GTF Schaefer in the BMW have to pit or not? It's gonna be very close. Because looking at Mighty Duck, they have 25%, so yeah, that's... Well, they really have to nurse their fuel if they want to make it to the end. It could be that is slightly too difficult, perhaps. But so according to my match, let's see. So that's gonna be another 6 laps they have to do. Have to do a lot of fuel management if they want to make it to the end. And to be honest, it might be worth it because it takes a long time to do a pit stop here. So yeah, they might have to manage fuel, but then they're gonna struggle. And possibly, actually probably not get into GT class. Stint win unless something weird happens. Because they're losing time 3 seconds to their best time and they have low fuel, still good tires, so they're definitely managing their fuel to make it to the end. But yeah, the BMW driver behind is doing solid laps and have taken good care of their fuel, and perhaps the M6 is also better on fuel management, so yeah, they don't have to worry about the fuel. Yeah, so the gap in GT class is now down to just over 4 seconds. Looks like we have a fight on our hands in a few laps, because GTF Schaefer looks to be the quicker of the two GT drivers now in the fight for P1 for GT class. For LMH, I don't see any big changes other than Team Q has now a 21-second gap behind. They have better tires, so it looks like they'll maybe grab the stint victory for LMH. Safra has had some issues, they're 45 seconds behind P4 overall, so yeah, they maybe made a mistake or something, I don't know. So now they have 4-second penalty, that's major, but luckily no damage, so they don't lose like let's say a catastrophic amount of time. So okay, yeah, the GT class battle is gonna start soon for the class victory. Gap is now down to 3 seconds between Mighty Duck and GTF Schaefer at the top 2 spots. Yes, for gap is still decreasing, so yeah, GTF Schaefer is about to catch up. Mighty Duck, who's leading GT class, the gap is now 1.3 seconds. Okay, now back to 1.7, but it's only a matter of time. So yeah, even though you could argue, these type of small battles aren't that important. Over a long race, I mean, perhaps that's kinda right, but at the same time, I mean, every second you can gain could be vital in the end, who knows. Gap is now 1.2 and yeah, GTF Schaefer is even catching up on the straight, so yeah, Mighty Duck is definitely fuel managing while in the lead of GT class. So we might have a fight on our hands on the next Mulsanne. Next time we go to the Mulsanne straight. Sure seems like it. Gap is now 9/10. Okay, Mighty Duck had a very good corner in the McLaren, so it's back to 1.3. It could be vital for them to keep the gap now to over 1.1 seconds, because then GTF Schaefer can get the slipstream, which would significantly improve their chances to make an overtake attempt on Mighty Duck for the stint win for GT class. Okay, now the gap is half a second. Yeah, they can't quite make an overtake attempt just yet. But they're very close, GTF Schaefer. There's also hypercar coming. Watch out. Okay, now GTF Schaefer has a chance to pounce for a lead. And yes, looks like they get the overtake to stick also. BMW looks faster in a straight line than the McLaren. I reckon it could have to do with the fuel management. Yes, definitely why. That's the case. Why they're so much faster in the straight? Just looking at the fuels, Mighty Duck has only around 20% left of fuel, or a bit less. And GTF Schaefer has over 25, and also at the same time the BMW is better on fuel management. So yeah, this might be the finishing order for GT Class 2 that GTF Schaefer is gonna take. Stint win for the MGT class. Now they go wide though, so let's see. Gap is down to less than 4/10, but yeah, as said, Mighty Duck is probably fuel saving heavily. So yeah, they don't get close enough after this straight to go for a move. So the positions still stay the same. And yeah, LMH class is looking very similar to what it was before. The rest is, however, losing time massively because they have front damage, so they're losing big time to those. I don't know, maybe they should have. Well, it's there and thereabouts if they should pit in or not. It's a tough situation. But yeah, they're almost 3 minutes behind the top two. So yeah, the top two are doing very respectable lap times here. In the LMH class, and same can be of course said for the GT class, but especially like LMH class, I mean, almost a 3 second gap behind, even if the hard driver has had issues, it's still extremely impressive performance. So that is nice to see. Yeah, Vivo is almost. Well, then maybe at this point, yeah, now they're catching up their Este who has damage, but yeah, they won't have enough laps to catch up. So it's only let's see, should only be maybe like 6 laps left or something around that. But we still could have a fight on our hands also in GT class. Like, yeah, P1 and P2 is not certain, but looks like Mighty Duck there in the McLaren has to fuel manage some. So it won't be easy if they want to take the GT class stint victory here. But William F1 fan in P9 is definitely catching up the P8 driver. They have fresher tires, and yeah, that's the main reason. And also they pace well. They've been the fastest GT car on track, you know, in pace wise. So even though they have had to do one more pit stop than the top two in GT class, their overall pace has been very near the top two. So yeah, ooh, a bit of a slide there, but they saved it. But they'll definitely get a chance, perhaps, to right towards the end of the stint to get P3 and GT class for this stint. But Hypercar, yeah, it's still over 20 seconds the gap between P1 and P2. Looks like also P2 driver is, as expected, gonna struggle to make their tires to last until the end. No, this is the time when they are gonna become, yeah, the tires will be feeling a bit sketchy at this point, so they're definitely losing pace for that reason, even though they have low fuel amount, which will make the car fast. But at the other side of the coin is the tire life that's left. So yes, it looks like we perhaps don't see changes there in the LMH class. What comes to the really for any of the positions. Oh no, what happened? Ah, that's a shame. Dacer X19 got disconnected there. That's a shame. Try to make a clip here for them in case they didn't have their gap, and then yeah, we'll see how it is handled from there. Probably an internet issue or something, sadly. It can happen. Or something in the connection, and then yeah, you get disconnected from the lobby. Okay, William F1 fan in P9 has caught up Drift King RC on the Mulsanne straight. We'll see. Yeah, they're coming to the end of the Mulsanne straight. Let's see if William F1 fan goes for a move or not. They're fairly close, but maybe not close enough, or yeah, not quite close enough. But now they have a chance for the next corner. They're very close now. Go out of the slipstream, we're side by side to the fast right-hand king, just ahead of Indianapolis. Very close racing, but William F1 fan stays behind for now in the Lamborghini. They're definitely looking feisty to get P3 in class. Yes, the battle still continues for P3 in GT class, because yeah, top spot is looking very secure. It's very close racing here. Ooh, we also have a hypercar behind this, so watch out. Good hypercar go through. Let's see. Ooh, does Lamborghini go for a move here? They decided to back off. It's tough corners make it. Okay. So drifting are very nice outside maneuver there. Oh, don't spin it. So yeah, William F1 fan outbraked themselves and got the chicane, and then they lost momentum, and then William F1 fan in the Lamborghini just managed to carry the momentum through the chicane and make a clean overtake. So yeah, they're up to P3 in GT class. Very nice. It's not over yet, but yeah, well, it could be. Maybe. The drifting RC picked up a half-second penalty. So yeah, they're 1.8 from P3 in class, and now they also have a penalty to serve. So it could be tough to come back from this situation. But at least a P4 in class. But perhaps they wanted a bit better. Yeah, Mighty Duck is definitely fuel managing. They're very close on fuel. They're very close on fuel. This is a bit dangerous. Do they have to pit again or not? It's gonna get. Sorry. It's gonna get very close. You don't have much left in terms of fuel. What would I say? That was maybe. I think they might have to come to a pit stop here. It's a shame if they do have to. Let's see. So it's 2 minutes 55 probably when they cross the start finish line. They have to do two more laps then. Well, it depends a little bit where the leader is in LMH actually. It's gonna be very close. It depends. Yeah, because Mighty Duck, who is second in GT class, um, they can probably do the next lap on this fuel. But I'm not sure they can do two laps. Let's see what they decide to do here. They need perhaps. Well, I think I know what could happen. They're definitely fuel saving. They're not doing that fast of lap times now. So what they might do is, if the next lap wouldn't be their last for some reason at their current pace, then what they could try and do is to have a slower last lap to ensure it's their last lap, the next one. But I don't know. We'll see, because at this moment in time is uh, looks like they might have to do two more laps, but we'll see. It's kind of weird because it's also based on where the leader is. So even if your time would warrant an extra lap, it might be that you don't actually have to do an extra lap. It depends like how the leader of LMH has done. So we'll see how it plays out from here. Yeah, William F1 fan in 8 is definitely getting a P3 here. GT class unless they make a really big mistake, but they're looking very strong for that, and they're doing faster lap times than Mighty Duck, who's second in GT class naturally because they have to fuel save a lot to make it to the end. GTF Schaefer's doing solid laps, leading the GT class. Wonder what happened to Cindy 03, who's down 12th in GT class. They were, I think, close. Yeah, okay. No, yeah. They were close to a driver who got disconnected, so yeah, it's running there solidly in 12th. Drift King RC is running in 9th there. Easily gonna be good on fuel, but looks like they finished 4th, but we'll see what happens with Mighty Duck, who's at the moment still second in GT class, but they're really nursing their fuel. And this could be trouble if they... Either way, it's gonna be trouble for their second position if the race doesn't end in this lap. So we'll see what happens. No changes basically in LMH class from what I can see. The rest is definitely losing time to the leaders, but they're gonna stay third for LMH for this stint. Okay, so let's see. So Drift King RC is safe for a P4 GT class. They're running night overall for this stint. But I'm more interested to see Mighty Duck because they're coming to the end of this lap and they still have a bit of fuel. They might, well, if they're not gonna pit in on this lap, they have to do another slow lap. It seems like that. Yeah, because they crossed the finish line. Yeah, I can see where the LMS leader is. So yeah, they have to do one more lap. It is gonna be an issue. They're so low on fuel, they're really nursing it. They might make it to the end, but they're losing so much time. At the moment, they're doing over 20 seconds slower than their fastest lap time, so that's an issue. That's a lot of time lost even if they didn't pit, so I don't know. It's tough to say if it was worth it to fuel save or not. It's very marginal the difference now at this point. Because from the looks of it, looks like they've lost uh, over half a minute now fuel saving. And then they're gonna lose some more time on the next lap, so maybe it was more worth it to pit, but it's easy to say here from the commentary position what you should and what you shouldn't do, so it's not really perhaps fair. But it's very marginal if it was worth to pit or not. They have a few liters of fuel left, so they might make it to the end. And I mean, looking how little fuel they lose the previous lap, of course they were slow, um, but it looks like they make it to the end now. And they didn't lose enough of time, so well, it depends. But if this pace keeps up, Mighty Duck might just get P2. The William F1 fan will get very close though on this lap. Lamborghini because they don't have the fuel save. Yeah, let's see. LMH car and 3 hours is up, so this is the final lap. Okay. So lap 52, yeah. Team Q26 takes the victory in the lobby, and then also they won the Stint for LMH. So good job from them, solid driving and nice job. Well done. Looks like the gap is around 25 seconds to Deusi. Deusi's just coming past finish line now. After a few seconds, and there we go. Cross the line for P2 class, and then the rest got yeah, they got lapped in this race, but still a solid job P3 in LMH. Then we have Bevo further on the road, but we might have some GTs finishing perhaps here in between. Yes, Kickmack just got past the finish line, and Schroeder is about to finish too soon. Uh, down in P8, P11 overall. Bevo has still around a minute to go before they're past the line, and there Estia took third place as said for LMH and also for this lobby. Yeah, Schroeder's gonna get past the line now, and that's for P11 overall distant. Yeah, now it's last drivers are about to get across the line. A TTV Bevo here gonna get past the line for LMH, and that's for P4. Yeah, the last drivers are about to head past the finish line. Just a few more moments. Right, race is ended. Well done to the stint winners, and yeah, to me it looked fairly clean most of the time at least. So good job, everyone. Yeah, stint is finished now, and hope you enjoy the stream, and yeah, hopefully we get the get some more camera action to show what actually happened. So in the next couple of stints, but myself, yeah, thanks for having me, and I will be back for stint 7, the last stint of this Le Mans 24 part 2. So probably gonna have a commentary change here in between. So yeah, I hope you stick around, but if not, have a good night, and myself will have a bit of a break now, and yeah. So yeah. Um, we'll see who's gonna commentate. We try to get it sorted. So